Welcome, everyone, to the Greg's Garage Pod with co-host Jason Pridmore. I'm Greg White, and joining me from Phillip Island, Australia, of course, is Jason Pridmore. Hey, Jay. Yeah, all right. Well, Jason has a busy schedule, and with the time change and crappy internet, I'm sorry to say that he is not joining us for this one. He's bummed, but he'll be back next week with some fresh racing stories. So I'm sorry to say that you are stuck with me, but I still have a show for you with some good interviews. It's different, but I think that, we can get through this. Well, let me start by saying that this podcast is presented by ARAI, and for 3 generations, ARAI has been making some of the world's best helmets. And of course, ARAI helmets meet all safety standards. But they also take a lot of pride in having a blend of engineering tech and human craftsmanship. That makes an ARAI helmet fit and feel better, which also protects you better. Your head is worth the best, so visit ARAIamericas.com for more information on tech, fit, and paint jobs. ARAIamericas.com, you owe it to you. All right, before we get into our normal stuff, let's talk Dakar Rally. First of all, congratulations to KTM on their 18th consecutive victory. That was due to a man stepping up. Australian Toby Price broke his throttle wrist, and it was a scaphoid injury, but still managed to compete and win his second Dakar title. Now, back in 2003, at 15 years old, Price broke both his wrists and won the Aussie Junior MX Championship. He had broken ribs over his career, femur, ankle, foot, and he said that he thought about those injuries while he rode in pain. Incredible. One of the most brutal races you'll ever find. He was all messed up. What a stud. Aussie grit coming through. Congratulations to Toby Price. Speaking of scaphoid breaks, to some MotoGP news. Newly acquired HRC rider and 3-time MotoGP world champ Jorge Lorenzo fractured his left scaphoid a few days ago. He's already had successful surgery and joined his teammate Marc Marquez along with Repsol legends McDoohan and Alex Crevier for the 25th anniversary of the Repsol Honda team livery reveal. But for Lorenzo, he's been ruled out of the upcoming Sepang test. And with Marquez still recovering from shoulder surgery, it's left to see how significant this might be for the Honda powerhouse leading into the 2019 season. I'm sure Jason and I will talk about that on the next podcast. To the MotoAmerica paddock, where Superbike teams have begun testing for 2019. Yamaha recently was at Buttonwillow, Yoshimura at Chuckwalla. So I had a chance to buzz up and talk to Toni Elias, the 2017 Motul Superbike champion. And my lead question to him was about 2019. And his answer surprised me a bit.
I'm so happy to start a new year, a new season, new goals. Anxious to put all the experience and all what we learned last year to put it on the table and fight it again and try to be a champion is my goal. But also I have a new motivation. I'll be a dad, so I'm so excited. I'm so happy. And well, I know it's will be a lot of work altogether, but I think this little Tony will give me a lot of motivation to continue trying to win races, trying to be motivated and training hard and try to bring the number one for Suzuki again.
Yeah, you heard it right. He said he's going to be a dad. Tony and his girlfriend Christy are having a little Tony, a boy. So after the shock and excitement of him telling me all this, that he's going to be a father, I wanted to know how testing had been going and if he has anything new to tell us about.
Not much. I think at the end of the season was pretty intense. We continue testing more and nonstop. Even if it was we don't test much, but we're some single days in Chuckwalla, in Fontana, and it's incredible. You can be 3 days in a test and improve almost nothing because you don't have anything new or or anything to test, but sometimes you are waiting for some part and you think that could be really important, and just test 3 hours test. For example, in Fontana, you can feel big improvements, and this is what happened. I think we improve a little bit, not too much. The bike is almost same, but I feel more comfortable. Have a little bit more grip, more stability. In general, is a little bit better, but we have to consider Yamaha at the end of the season was so strong, and right now I think we are in that level, but we are not better. So we have to continue being concentrated, working hard. I don't know exactly what will arrive from Japan. I hope something to make a big step, and let's see. And with Josh, was a surprise have him as a teammate. I'm happy he deserved that bike more than anyone. He did a great job and worked hard. And look, this is a good present for him, and I'm sure he has a big talent to take profit of that. And also, I think with more time, for example, the last season compared to other years, Josh Herring is more riding with brain. So combination of balls of steel, like I say, and this control of brain, it's dangerous. Josh is dangerous, like is Cameron. But yeah, we are teammates now. For the moment, the relationship is amazing. I hope we continue like this, and we'll see.
Yeah, we're going to see, no doubt about it. The couple takeaways from that, listening to that soundbite. Number one is kind of in the middle. Tony was talking about the fact that it's going to be interesting to see what Japan has for the GSXR 1000 that they ride. So the bits and pieces that come from Japan, because that's a really close relationship between Yoshir and the US and Japan, but Japan really leading the forefront on the development of that motorcycle and kind of deciding, what they get and what they don't get. The other thing to take away is what Tony's really saying about his teammate Josh Herrin is that over the last couple of years, Josh has really started to get his head wrapped around racing and uses more than just raw talent to get to the front. He's really racing well. So, but of course, look, it's Toni Elias. So at some point, if you rough Tony up, he's not going to be the happiest guy in the world. So I'm looking forward to seeing how those teammates race together. Now, for those who, you don't remember or you don't even know, Tony dominated the first few races of the MotoAmerica Motul Superbike class until Dunlop rolled out a new, larger rear tire and a new front. Now, from that point, it was Cameron Beaubier on his Yamaha that started rolling, and Tony struggled mid-season to find results. Ultimately, the number one jump from Tony Suzuki to Beaubier's Yamaha. So with no big Dunlop changes coming for 2019, I asked if he would stay the course in terms of strategy for this year.
For example, I'm not going to change anything in the way we work or the goal we put. We had the goal we had before start last season was to win this championship, and we work hard and taking care of every single details. But at the end, we had that surprise. So we will work in the same way because was perfect, was amazing. But what we learn is it's everything is unpredictable. We cannot expect win everything or have a lot of problems. Just try to be ready for everything. Always maybe the rules of the championship or the rules in the tires will change like always do. We cannot expect everything will be the same. Today we have a setup with it's working better than the last season with this tire. but nobody promised us this tire will be the same for the first race or for the rest of the season. So we must be ready for the surprise. And if depend of what we'll have on the table, we will choose to go left or go right. And but I think we have more experience on that right now. So I hope everything when that moment will arrive, I hope to choose with my team the right direction much more quickly than what we did last time. My first thing, no, then the championship will be difficult. Josh is so strong. Gerloff will be much more stronger than last year. Cameron, count on him until the last corner. JD Beach will be there. Scholes. I don't know. I don't want to forget anyone, but riders grow, improve every year are much more stronger. So I can't sleep. I can't be sleepy. I have to be awake and work hard and be ready for everything because our bike is good, but you never know what Yamaha can bring or Cameron or other riders can do or can surprise us in some way. We'll see.
And that's the beauty of this championship. We are definitely going to see, as teams are already testing what they have for 2019 and what's coming up. And we know that the riders that he's talking about are not only talented, but some of them, like Skoltz and the Westby Racing team, upgrading electronics and going to be aggressively testing until we start the season, the beginning of April at Road Atlanta. Now, there was some news posted on MotoAmerica's website about LiquiMoly Junior Cup racer Jamie Astudillo, who at the end of 2018 wrapped up her second season in MotoAmerica competition. Now, she's off to New Zealand to race a vintage bike, motocross bike, a bunch of different stuff. I could read you the press release, but I had a chance to talk to the 18-year-old, who, by the way, has the distinction of being the first woman to stand on a MotoAmerica podium. So I talked to her about what's coming up in February.
Well, I'll be racing in New Zealand in the North Island, right outside of Auckland, and I'll be racing an old vintage bike, the Ducati 750. The first week, February 2nd and 3rd, is when I'll be racing in Auckland, and then February 6th through the 10th is when I'll be on the other side of the island racing the hill climb, the beach race, and all that stuff. So I don't know much about the festival. All I've been told is that, yeah, I'm going to be racing all these races, and yeah, pretty much that's about it.
So her New Zealand experience includes all the stuff she was talking about, right? Many different bikes doing different things, a road hill climb and a beach race and a street race on a KTM 450. It fits perfectly into her motorcycling experience.
Well, I come from a background of motocross, and I just started doing this whole road racing thing about 2 years ago, and I've kind of been doing a bunch of stuff lately with Dale. We've been doing some supermoto stuff just to work on some things, and we've done flat track too. So I'm pretty used to trying different disciplines and kind of getting the hang of them really quickly.
The Dale she's talking about is Dale Quarterley, former racer in his own right and Superbike race winner in years past of Quarterley on-track development team. So, look, I was curious to find out how she got this really cool opportunity.
So the team owner of Quarterley Racing, which is Bob Robbins, he actually goes to New Zealand quite often, and he has bikes there and everything. So he knows a few people from over there, and they contacted him, and they wanted me to go over and race, and I thought it was a cool opportunity. I've never raced any of these bikes or any of these kinds of bikes or these disciplines, but it's a new country. It's something to race, and I thought it was going to be a really cool opportunity for me.
I think the key there is that she says something to race. You know, the 2019 MotoAmerica season's right around the corner, and some people might be wondering, like, why take the risk? But when you are young, I say, get all the racing experience you can get. And Jamie thinks along those lines too.
Yeah, it's actually really important. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have that mentality. When it came to getting on board with Melissa, kind of said, I have nothing to really lose. Why not try this whole road racing thing, and look where it got me. So it's really important to just go out there and race.
So we're definitely looking forward to seeing what Jamie is going to be able to accomplish in New Zealand. And she's actually going to be over there for quite a while. So after she gets to race all of that stuff, she's actually going to reach out and we're going to talk to her and kind of find out how that experience went. So really cool things for, Jamie Astudillo coming up. Now, in other MotoAmerica news, Norris Racing, who fielded 2017 MotoAmerica KTM RC Cup champion Benjamin Smith in last year's Supersport class on a Suzuki, is switching gears and adding riders. They will be switching to Yamaha R6s and adding Norwegian racer Carolyn Olsen, but they're also adding stock 1000 racer Michael Gilbert to the lineup. Gilbert will be on a Kawasaki ZX-10R. And in other news in MotoAmerica, Quarterley Racing on-track development team announced its rider lineup, which includes Jamie Astudillo. So since I was talking with her, I said, why don't you tell us about what's going on with the team?
Yeah, so I'll still be in the Junior Cup on the Ninja 400, obviously, and we'll have Dallas Daniels again with us, and Teague Hobbs will be racing the whole season. And we have Ben Glotty. He's only 13, so he won't start racing until Utah. But yeah, we've ridden with both of them already, and they I think they'll be good assets to the team. They both have different things to bring to the table, and me and Dallas have things that'll help them. So I think we'll be a really good team, a really strong team, and we'll definitely help each other out.
Thank you, Jamie, for taking the time to talk with us and give us the information to fill us in on the MotoAmerica paddock. Now on to Supercross and the third round of the championship, Anaheim 2, where the Monster Energy sponsored series had its triple crown, which is cool and different. In the 450 class, it was 3 races, 12 minutes plus a lap for each. We got to see a lot more racing and a lot more race starts. Amazing for Cooper Webb, the North Carolina resident who won the overall. He had 2 first-place finishes and a third, and when you add up that's 5 points. So the person with the lowest point total ended up winning the overall, which is just normal points, just like any round. Webb's Red Bull KTM factory teammate Marvin Musquin, off of a 3.22 on the night, finishes second, with Eli Tomac on the Monster Energy Kawasaki in third. But for our guy who's here regularly on the Greg's Garage Pod with co-host Jason Pridmore, Chad Reed, well, he had a bit of a day. 10th, a do not start, and a strong 5th place finish for 13th overall. But I don't want to tell you all about it. Let's hear it right from the Aussie's mouth.
First race, a little frustrating. I was behind my teammate, Justin Hill. So, kind of felt that I was a little too nice, kind of raced him a little kinder than I would race somebody else. So then I felt that I didn't get to move forward quite as easily or quickly as I wanted to. Ended up 10th in that one. Second one, we had a technical issue. Unfortunately, just kind of like a freak thing, we run, special magnesium clutch covers, and the guys changed out a clutch, and for whatever reason, when they put it back together, the magnesium cover, the threads pulled out, and just obviously then the bolt wouldn't take, and then they tried I think 3-4 different ways of trying to get it to, get in there and grab and be able to get me through that one race, but they weren't able to do it. And on the line, it was pumping out oil. So obviously it's not safe, like you're going, if it was like a 6-minute race, maybe you could, kind of risk it. But 12 minutes plus 1 lap, you're going to have all the oil come out. And at that point, you kind of just at the mercy of when's the engine going to blow kind of thing. So we chose to take the safe route and get it fixed properly. And they changed out the case and got a new one on there. And then the second one, I got a great start. I think I was like 4th, and then Roxon got me and I ended up 5th. So I feel like I was more closer to the front and where I need to be, but still kind of feeling like I left a little on the table. So at this point, I really think that the pieces of the puzzle are there. It's just a matter of me, extracting it out of myself and believing in what I've, been able to do in the past and really do it. I just think that the last year and a half has been really tough. I've been uncompetitive, and I'm having to, even though I'm the most experienced out there, I'm not exempt from having to learn to trust myself and what I've done in the past, and put it all together on one night. So yeah, just excited because I feel like the pieces are there, but a little frustrated that I'm not executing when I need to.
I mean, incredible insight into Chad Reed's mind. I think you all would agree, whether you're into Supercross or not, listening to Chad talk about being the oldest Supercross racer to take a gate and the struggles that he's going through, even at 36 years old, which, in road racing is even getting up there, let alone Supercross. I think it's pretty amazing to get that insight. And what was interesting was that during the Supercross broadcast on NBCSN, Ricky Carmichael spoke about what makes Chad Reed so special. Ricky was talking about Chad's ability to manage the entire season. So I thought to ask Chad, what is different about him than most?
Putting a 17 race series together in 18 weeks, it's really got its challenges. And it's probably the single most enjoyable thing that I like about it most. I'm excited now that we're heading into Oakland, and then we go San Diego, and then we head into the East Coast. When we head East Coast, everybody's jumping on planes, and typically everybody's going west to east. They're losing 3 hours. That's when shit starts getting real, they start getting on planes. We start going to closed domes. People start getting sick. They start, sucking fumes for 24 hours. And that's when, in my opinion, that's when I start to enjoy the series, when everybody's dealing with something and you start finding the cream starts rising to the top. And the goal is always to be a part of the cream, right? So it's something that I've always been a part of, and I, for whatever reason, I was just talking to my wife about this morning, and the season has a little bit of a feel of 2011, where I don't feel that I don't look at any one individual and go, that dude's a badass, he's impossible to beat, or he has a skill set that is unbelievable. 2011, we had a very young, Ryan Villapoto that was yet to be a champion in the big bike class. We had Dungey, who seemed to have, a lot of positives, but also a lot of negatives, and things like that. James was always, when he's on, and when he's off, it's kind of like a Tomac day where when he throws it away, he really throws it away. So it kind of has that feel, and I just really need to start. I guess that's where my own frustration comes from, is I know that I got the pieces there, and I need to just extract it, put it all into the weekend, and put a few of those weekends together, and I think I can find myself back in this thing and start to believe in myself, and start actually, racing up front, get good starts, and try to make this thing interesting from my side.
Incredible insight. I mean, really is. If you take a listen to that bite again and again, and really what Chad's saying, but mark my words, people, I do think that Chad Reed is going to win a race before the season's out. Stand on the podium, no doubt. Win a race, it's definitely possible, because he is one of the best at managing the season, just like he said. Now, when we were wrapping up our recorded part of the conversation, I asked if there was anything else that he would like to add, or anything else that's new.
Nothing really new. That's the biggest thing. I think for what I took out of the weekend is really just me. At this point, I really think that we've come a long way with the bike, and I can't, the bike can always be better. Let's be honest. That's, from a racing standpoint, that's what you're always fighting, but I think that generally the bike is pretty damn good, and now it's about me really just believing in that deal and making it happen. So exciting that it's me and not nothing else. So I feel like I can work on me. So, the bike, I can influence a lot, but I can also, I'm at the mercy of those guys. And I think that we've got that thing in the window, and now it's really about, me focusing on me and getting the most out of myself.
Thanks again for Chad for contributing here weekly. It's so great to have him. You could hear he was in his car. He was on his way to go test when I recorded. It was like 35 degrees yesterday when we talked, and he's still out there just pounding away those laps. Some not so good news on the Supercross front. Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team has confirmed that national champ Jason Anderson was injured in a practice crash this week. The team said that Anderson broke his arm in 2 places and sustained a fractured rib. Bummer, champ. Heal up quickly. Now on to Supercross Fantasy, and this part is absolutely no fun without Jason, so I'm going to leave it at this. Past road race national champ Corey Alexander leads the RM Fantasy SX.com Greg's Garage Pod team with 105 points, coming off of a 59-point haul. Come on, man. Anyone but Corey. Don't forget, you can join the group, and don't forget to get your picks in. It makes watching Supercross a whole big fun thing. RMFantasySX.com. That's just for fun. They don't even know we exist. Trust me. We're just on that thing. A side note, day 1 of official 2019 World Superbike testing at Jerez happened today. It's pod guest Alex Lowe's on his Yamaha who led the way over Johnny Ray and Leon Haslam's Kawasaki's. The new Ducati V4 of Davis and Bautista, 9th and 10th. Last week's guest Eugene Laverty on his first go on the Duck, 14th. Next week, we'll talk more about World Superbike's first test of 2019, Pridmore's Phillip Island experience, and more. Good luck, JP. You still have racing to do. I think it starts on Thursday. So as I'm recording this kind of later on today because it's 16 hours ahead of where I am. If you are in this deep in this podcast, thank you so much for suffering through with me. I know you've heard enough of my voice. I have heard enough of my voice. Next week will be better. Until then, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it.